So in this video we're going to be taking a look at another OEX tent. This is the Jackal 2 by OEX, sold at Go Outdoors, Blacks and Millets. Now I've had a lot of questions about this tent from my viewers, and in a way I've been a little bit lazy in replying to the questions, so I thought instead of going through each question, I get the tent out, I'll do a review video of it, because I've used this tent enough to give enough information for you guys what is probably looking on YouTube for more information about this tent. Now it is a 2-man backpacking tent, and at the moment you might think, wow, that looks a bulky tent. It is just under 3 kilos in weight, but what a good thing about this tent is you can separate it, so your fly sheet has got its own stuff sack, and then you've got your inner of the tent what's got its own stuff sack as well. You can put your poles with the fly sheet, and then the inner, you could probably put the pegs in that one as well. What that means is, if you're packing away in the morning and your tent's wet, muddy, horrible, and you want to separate the fly sheet from the inner of the tent, you can just put it in its own little stuff sack and it's put away separate. So when you get home, then you can just peg out the fly sheet and dry it out and then put it back together. But also what it means is, with the 2 bags, you can share the weight between you and your friend, you and your partner, if you're both sharing this tent on a night out camping. Now, like I say, it is just under 3 kilos, 9.2 kilos in weight. It's a big tent, but by what I've seen on YouTube and Go Outdoors, it's a very popular 2-man tent. And yeah, it is a 4 seasons tent as well. So that is very, very good. For the price, now the price sometimes varies from £90 if it's on sale, or at the moment, I think it were up for £149. But when it comes to Easter time, Christmas time at back end of summer, you will see Go Outdoors has a lot of sales. I'm not promoting Go Outdoors the slightest, I'm just saying, if you look at this tent and you think about buying it now, when there's a sale on at Go Outdoors, the price does drop down to about £90, so it's worth waiting for. Let's get this tent out and let's have a look. So what I did is, last time I used this tent, I kept it all together. Well, I think I did, let's say that. So in the bag, you get your poles. Now you will have 2 poles, lightweight aluminium poles these. And you do have to sort of set the poles up to either side of the tent. So on one side of the pole end, you'll see that one's silver. And if I can just find the other side of it, that one's silver as well. One of them is meant to be a different colour, but both ends seem to be gold on this. Yeah, I'm sure one of them is meant to be silver and this one's gold. Colour coordinated. Let's have a look here. I hope I haven't mixed these up with the other Jackal 2 tent. No, one is so that's where it's colour coordinated, sorry. You see how the top here is the goldy colour and this part here is the silver. This one's the back one, this one's the front one. I thought it were the ends of the poles what were colour coordinated. And here you do get quite a lot of pegs where it looks like I've got 2 sets of pegs in this one. There's a lot of pegs here. So just like I thought, last time I used this tent, I left the inner and the outer pitched together. You can do that once you've attached it all to it anyway. But one thing about this tent is as well is it's an outer pitch tent first. So if it's raining, windy, and you just want to get the tent up, you can pitch the outer part first of it. But if you attach it all together like I have and left it attached, what that means is next time you set it up, all you got to do is put the poles in it. Then the tent is ready to go, because this is your fly sheet and this is your inner. So you see how it's still on the little connecting part there. So you will save yourself a lot of time if you do that the second time round. So what I need to do now is just get this tent laid out and get the poles put in. So these are the stuff sacks what I run about at the beginning. So here it says your poles and your inner. Well, I like to keep my poles with the fly sheets. You attach the poles to the fly sheet. But yeah, that's one of them. So you get your, they say put your poles and your inner there. And then this one just says your fly sheet. But that's what I mean, once you put your tent in this and the inner to that one, you can separate the weight between you and your friend, or you and your partner, or anybody who's camping with you. But yeah, I'd really put your poles and your fly sheet together, because if it is really miserable weather, you can pull this one out first, and then you can use the fly sheet and the poles to pitch the outer of the tent up. I don't see why they've done that. I think it'd be a bit more sensible if they did it like that, really, the fly sheet and the poles. By the way, that's just my thought about it. You can always drop a comment below and let me know, do you agree with what I think, or would you agree with what they say on the stuff sacks itself? So if you do it the way I've done, left it all attached, when you get out of the bag you'll see you've got this long strap. First of all, make sure you put that under the tent, like so, because if not, if you peg it all out, then you've got the poles in, you're going to have to get that strap underneath it somehow, what will be a bit of a pain, I reckon. So you can see here what I mean by it being attached. So just on the back side of it, so say the bottom of the tent where you'd be laying, where your feet would be when you're laying, you have one connection, two, and they are on this bit of bungee cord here, let's say, so when it's windy it does help the tent stay strong. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 connections to the back, and you have to connect it then to the corner of the tent when you set it up with this here to that. So there you'll see a silver X. So what that means is the silver part of your pole needs to go through that sleeve there like that. Then when you find your next part where your pole goes in, it's a gold X. So you just have to push it through like that. It runs pretty well, no snagging with the poles. And the next thing you need to do is start to pitch the tent. So in the previous video when I did a tent review, I mentioned don't peg out the tent until you got your poles in. And there were a few people that said you peg the tent out first, then you do the poles. So if you do have a quick second, do comment below and let me know which way you do it. Because I always believe pegging it out afterwards, once you put your poles in, is probably the best way to do it than doing it the hardest way. So if you do need to fight with the tent a little bit to get it up, it's probably always better to not have it pegged down. Once again, if you do have it attached, or the tent attached, so it's easy to pitch up, at the front end, make sure the strap of the fly sheet is under the main part of the tent, because you will have a nightmare getting it under when you come to peg it all out. Right, let's peg out the vestibule area. So what I'm going to do now is I am just going to make my way around the tent and finish pegging it out properly. So as I'm going around the tent, just pegging it out and using some of these guidelines, because you need to do the front guidelines no matter what for this sort of like flap area. It does give you a little bit of extra coverage when it's raining, but it's not going to do a massive amount of deals for you. But you do need to do at least the front two. There's plenty more on it. You get another one at each side, so you can pull it out really well in case it's a windy day. So I'm going to show you these clips here. So each side of any of the poles, you get this little clip. Just need to clip it over. And what I like here goes fire retardant and then 5000 hydrostatic head. At the back you get an air vent, so you can just push this up like that, but you can pull it out with that as well if you need to do. And like I said earlier, it's the OEX Jackal 2. So there you go, the tent's roughly put up so you can see it. It is a tunnel tent and it does handle really well in the wind. It has like these, the sleeves where your poles go through, the material at the bottom there is see-through, so that'll help with the wind flowing through there so it's not completely battering the pole. What may break, I've never had an OEX pole that breaks due to the wind. So it's a tunnel tent, apparently they handle really well in high winds. I've never been out of a tunnel tent in high winds yet, but there's plenty more time on the channel. I may have pulled that one out just a little bit too much. But like I say, this tent sometimes is on sale for £90. It's well worth getting. Right, let's take a look on the inside. So you do get these Velcro parts here. There's another one at the bottom, and you get another one at the other side of the door. They are YKK zips. And the inner is orange. But you can just see round from the inner to the fly sheet what I'm about earlier, counting them to you. And these bungee parts here help it in the wind to move around so it don't cause stress on the poles or for the tent to blow too much. There is one there what's not connected. I don't think I'm going to be able to connect that by hand. No, I'll do that in a minute. Let's have a look inside the tent. There's the tent, and there's a lot of room in these Jackal 2s. Massive air vent at the back, what should help cut down the condensation. And you can just see there, it's got a lantern holder. People use that for the glasses. You got two decent sized pockets because it's a two-man tent. The door, you don't have to have it open like this. It is actually a mesh as well. So you can have it like that on a warm summer's night. So you can have airflow coming through, but this keeps all the bugs out. This one here, it tucks to a pocket on the inside there. What seems a lot smaller than some of the previous OEX tents. And this is the inner pocket that I was talking about. It is really small. I don't see how they expect you to get that in there. I'm sure they've started making that pocket a lot smaller. So your vestibule area, where your rucksacks can go 1 metre in size. So when that's all the way down, you do gain a lot of room. So if you want to boil some water for a drink, or if the weather's really bad, you can leave this one side open like this. You can do a little bit of cooking maybe. So you can clearly see I've got my rucksack in, my boots and my stand for recording with, and there's still lots of room. Really spacious door that. So with it being a two-person tent, it is probably better to leave your bags outside like that. Plenty of room there for your boots and stuff, so it gives you that extra space on the inside of the tent for your sleeping mats. I know a lot of people do push the bags to the bottom of the tent anyway, but two people, the vestibule area is perfect for that. As you can see, there's hardly any mesh, just the air vent there at the back. Everywhere else is material, so it's definitely a good 4 seasons tent. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not promoted by OEX. I know In the past, a lot of people thought that, but I'm not. OEX still have the problem with the poles being slightly too hard to get in place. Some people think it's actually a good thing, so they don't pop out when it's windy, high winds, let's say. But yeah, what I would think as well is, I think it's time OEX do start doing footprints for the tents, just to protect the under of the tent. Any OEX tent does not have a footprint with it. I think OEX should start selling them separately if they don't want to put them with the tents, so they make us pay a little bit more money for their footprints. It would be a good idea if they did that. And at the top of the door there, you will see it's got a little bit more mesh to help with the airflow to cut back on the condensation. So I am actually laying down in the tent now, and there's a lot of room for myself. This is me. I'm not that close to the inner material as it looks, but look at all the room. There's a lot of room there for another person, isn't there? If at a squeeze, you would be able to fit 3 people in here at a squeeze, and that is at a squeeze. But 2 people, there's enough room. More than enough room, actually. 2 pockets on each side, but are separated into 2 pockets itself. So you've got one here and another one here, so each person's got 2 pockets. That air vent is massive. Absolute massive. So I'm just going to run through some sizes because people are interested in this. If you're somebody who's not interested in sizes, you just want to get on with your next video or go do something else, thank you very much for watching this video. I do appreciate it. Now for the people who are interested in the measurements, I'm going to leave it here because no doubt I will mess up as well. So you can see it all for yourself and laugh and, you know, probably call me an idiot for messing it all up. But the full length of the tent from where you get in right to the bottom is 325 centimetres. From the inside where you will be sleeping, 225 centimetres. So your vestibule area is 100 centimetres. The widest width of the tent from outside is 165 centimetres. The inside width of the tent where you're going to be sleeping and moving around, 140 centimetres. The highest point of the tent from the floor, so it will be from here to where you get into the doorway of the tent, is 100 centimetres. And at the bottom height, I don't think it really makes much difference really, is 90 centimetres. And it's only one way entrance, as you can see with the arrow of the tent where the sleeping bags are pointing downwards. So that's overall measurements of the tent. So here, I think you may see it says 225 centimetres. I think that's the outer measurement. The inner measurement is 210 centimetres. So there's a 15 centimetres difference from the fly sheet to the inner of the tent. And I did say it's 2.9 kilos in weight, just under 3 kilos. That is pretty shocking. Now it is a 5,000 hydrostatic head tent. I've never had an OEX tent that leaks on me. The poles have had a few issues with people being really difficult to get in and snapping. I do understand that. I've got one tent, I think it's the Bobcat that does that for me as well. But I've never had an OEX tent that leaks. The Fox 2, I've had that in some seriously strong wind and rain and it never leaked at all. And what you can do with this door is you don't have to have it just flapping around. You can just roll it up and attach these grab parts over here, let's say, and you can keep it well out of your way, just in case it's a nice night and you want to have a nice view of wherever you're camping. So you can actually roll the door up here, which is a really good feature, I think. So just while I take this tent down, if wild camping and backpacking is the sort of thing you like to see, plus equipment reviews, please do consider hitting that subscribe button for me. Very helpful. This year, as soon as these lighter nights come back in a little bit more, we're going to start doing some amazing hiking and wild camping in lots of different places. So it's something I'm looking forward to this year. But for now, I'm going to continue taking this tent down. If you've got a second and you'd like to subscribe to my channel, please do. Most of all though, please do remember to give the video a massive thumbs up. It really helps me ranking in YouTube. So that would be very nicely, thank you. People do seem to think it's cheeky to ask, but if you don't ask, you never get, do you? Right, I'm going to continue taking this tent down. So there we go. Once you get them in the separate bags, that's what it looks like. Now, in a way, I do think keeping your pegs away from the fly sheet in the inner is probably a better idea, because the last thing you want is them pegs to be scraping against your fly sheet and causing holes in it. But then again, you won't really want it scraping against the material of your inner in case it rips it. Yeah, let me know your thoughts about that. So there we go, the tent is all the way in one bag. Like I say, you can separate that if you want, part in your mates, part in your bag, vice versa. If you take your partner camping or one of your kids camping with you get what I mean. You can share the weight in different rucksacks, so you're not taking all the weight yourself. Now, if this is the sort of stuff you like to see, please do hit this by subscribing to my channel. Up here, I'll share the OEX Jackal 3 tent for you, so you can see the difference between the 2 and the 3. And what I'll do then is, in a couple of weeks, I'll come back, I'll get the Jackal 2 and the Jackal 3 out side by side, so we can see just what the difference is. I think the overall difference will just be a bit of extra room inside the tent, and it weigh a little bit more. But thanks for watching. Most of all, I hope I see you next time.